Hello there, viewers. It's another episode of Spiritual Rhapsodies. My name is Elvon Jarrett, and it's your program, Spiritual Rhapsodies. And we're here in the studio with another minister of God. She is an evangelist, a songwriter, a minstrel, and a missionary. Welcome, Evangelist Ngozi Saah.
Thank you so much.
So, how do you feel today being in Houston?
Oh, I'm feeling great. I'm feeling great. It's raining, but I'm feeling great.
How do you love to be alive in this time we're living?
Oh, by the grace of God, I am so blessed to see 2020. A lot of people are in the hospital. A lot of people did not get the privilege to be here today to see 2020. So I am blessed to be alive.
Now, a lot of people who are living today have things that they hang on to from their past, and it kind of makes them feel so sad, and it bugs them down from moving forward and making progress. Are there any things like that in your life that sometimes want to bug you down and you say, no, I'm moving ahead?
Of course. I mean, we all go through trials and tribulations. I wouldn't want to say every minute. I'll say every day. There's always something that the devil would throw at you that would want to make you, give up or quit or stop what you're doing or be depressed. But because we have Christ and God has given us strength every day, He renews our strength. So that means no matter what the devil throws at you every day, you should continue knowing that God will always make a way when there seems to be no way. So yes, things do come my way, but I always hold on and hang on to God.
Yeah, so despite crisis, when Christ is in your boat, all crises go out.
You said it well.
Well, that's the way they say. Now, would you like to share with our viewers because we know you're a song minstrel, you sing songs. What inspires you to sing some of your songs?
Whew. I heard Oprah say once, she said, I'm every woman, but I say I'm every woman. I've been through it. You name it, I can place myself in it. And I believe my life is a living testimony. So when I think about the goodness of the Lord, that's where my inspiration comes from, just how good God is to each and every one of us. And I'm also a counselor. So when I counsel people and I hear people's stories and what God is doing and how God brings them out, I mean, everything around me inspires me. Just the love of Christ inspires me to write and sing.
Now, you said you've gone through a lot. What kind of things have you gone through that some normal person on the road has not gone through, that makes you feel that you're unique and that you've been refined and gone through some furnace, and that brings you out and you can say, God, if you help me through this, nothing can hinder me?
I had a covenant with God at the age of 20 when I was going through so much in my life, and I told God that if you bring me out of this, I will never stop serving you. Nothing can separate me from the love of Christ. When you talk about being divorced, I've been divorced. When you talk about being a single mother, I've been a single mother. When you talk about being homeless, and when I say homeless, I don't mean homeless living with somebody. I mean homeless sleeping in empty buildings in this America. I've seen that. If you talk about almost losing your mind, I've been there. If you talk about losing a child, I mean, in spite of it all, God has been so faithful. He has given me so much strength. And for everything that I've been through, it just seems like the older I get, the more God shows me why He allowed me to go through the things I went through. And we quote so many scriptures in the Bible, especially those that we know, and we just kind of like
Right.
we glance through it. It's just we just say it. But there's a scripture in the Bible that says that God will not give you more than you can bear.
Yeah, he's not able to tempt you above that which you're able to bear.
You know, that scripture has really strengthened me throughout everything I've been through in my life. And it simply means that you're going to go through stuff. It's going to get heavy. It's going to be very, very heavy. But God is going to give you the strength to get through it. So that means when it's heavy, when you want to quit, when you don't know what to do, just know that God is going to, like, you have the strength. There's a reason why God allowed you to go through this. It means that He has given you enough strength to come out of it, to see the other side of the tunnel, if you are able to hold on to get to the other side of the tunnel.
That's if you're able to hold on, if you are able to stand with God. What if when you're going through some crisis and it becomes too much and you just have to break down and fall apart? Let's take for example now, what exactly do you go through that at one time you wanted to throw it out?
Ooh, evangelist, I don't know which one to pick. You know, I don't know which one to speak on. I'll pick when I lost my child. I think that was something that, you know, it really hit me hard, especially the hospital, the way they treated me. I've had 4 children and 4 C-section, and so I'm used to having babies, waking up in the morning, going to the NICU to go see my children or my child. So that morning I woke up, I was going to the NICU to go see my child, and the nurse asked me, "Where are you going?" I said, "Oh, I'm going to go see my baby." And they said, "Okay, just stay in this room, we'll be back, we'll bring your baby to you." And this nurse walked up to me, evangelist, and handed me a frozen baby. I mean, a frozen baby. It was my child, but it's frozen. I didn't know my baby was
Frozen in terms of you'd lost the baby?
Yeah, like, you know, my baby passed away and they put the baby in the freezer. So they went to the freezer to bring me my child frozen.
Now, what kind of nurse was this?
That's I have no idea.
Elvon, RN, I don't know, but it happened in this country.
It happened here in the United States. A frozen baby, my child frozen. And I literally lost my mind. Yeah, I lost it there. It didn't make any sense. And
Nobody had told you prior to that time that, hey, this is what we're going through. This child has these complications. We're going to try and manage this and this, blah, blah. Nobody said nothing.
Well, they told me when I lost the baby, the day I lost the baby. They told me, because it was just the next morning that this happened. So that means my baby passed maybe hours after I had him. But what I remember is laying on that surgery bed, and they came and showed me my son, and he was crying. So after that, I just kind of like passed out because they still had to stitch me up. So they said they told me, but I guess I had so much pain medicine in me or epidural, whatever that was going on at that time, that I didn't remember. But at the end of the day, who hands a mother a frozen child the morning after she has a baby? So evangelist, that's one thing that really hit me hard. I'll tell you, I went as far as trying to take my life. It just didn't make any sense to me. Till today, I can't tell you what happened.
Wow.
I'm not interested in whatever they have to tell me. I don't want to hear it. I don't think I'm there yet. But God kept me. You know, He kept me. He delivered me. Truly, I stopped going to church. At that time, I was an evangelist. I was a preacher of the gospel. I was singing in the church. And then people started to ask me, "Where is your God? You know, where is this God that you served so much? Where is He when your baby died?" But and I also questioned. And they said, "Don't question God," but I questioned God very well. I questioned Him every day.
Because it was real coming at you. It was hitting you. You woke up every day, you felt it. And you just asked, why me? The why me question. Stay there, viewers. Don't go. Don't touch that remote. We'll go on this short break, and we still have Evangelist Ngozi Saah in the studio and in the building. Don't touch that dial. Welcome, viewers, and I still have here on set Evangelist Ngozi Saah. So, you have been handed over to you a frozen baby, and you were really pained. And days after, you had like a kind of trauma. Now, was there any guilt trip? Were you blaming yourself? Were you blaming God? Who were you blaming? I mean, I know the devil must have been taking you down too many trips. So how what exactly was going on in your mind?
Well, truly, and I hope that, women that have lost a child, they'll watch this video and be encouraged with this and not do this to themselves. The first thing we do is we start to point fingers at ourselves. You judge yourself. Is there a sin that I committed? Is there something I've done? Is it something, did I eat something wrong? Did I lay on the wrong side of the bed? Did I take a medication that I shouldn't have taken? And we tend to beat ourselves up real good. And then after that, you transfer it to your husband.
Right.
You take it out on your husband.
The blame game to the closest person you can see.
Yes. You take it out on your husband, and it takes the grace of God to lose a child and still keep your marriage. Most times, stuff like that break people's marriages because you start to hate each other. You hate yourself to start with. You hate yourself. What could I have done better? Was there a day I missed my prenatal? Did I miss my vitamin one day? Did I eat the wrong thing? Or is it because my husband doesn't show me enough love? Did you quarrel one day and you mistakenly fell down? Is that what happened?
Or you take it to his family. Is it your auntie, your brown, your family? People don't like me. Somebody's throwing this arrow, evil arrow, and all that.
And you know what? Most of the time, people take it to the mother-in-law. Oh yeah, your mother doesn't like me. That's why your mother said this. And she's probably doing voodoo. And she wants to kill my child. Or maybe you take it, and then you take it to your pastor. You take it to church. You begin to fight your pastor. My pastor is not prayerful. If he's a prophet, then he should have been able to see this before it happened. If the pastor's wife was powerful enough, she should have been able to see this. Oh, I went to the pastor to pray for me. Well, the prayer didn't work. Because if the prayer worked, then the baby should not pass. Maybe I should change church. Okay, maybe God doesn't even love me that much. Yes, this Christianity is even real. Is Jesus even real? You will question everything and fight everything down to yourself. And if you're not careful, you could take your life.
Wow.
You could hurt yourself.
And you said you were close to almost wanting to take your life?
I did. I took pills. It's not a hidden secret. I took pills, passed out. They had to take me to the hospital and pump those pills out of my stomach. I was depressed. I was so depressed. I just couldn't understand. Yeah.
Wow.
It was that bad.
So you had gone down that lane taking pills. And how did they discover that you had taken pills? How did that scenario come out? What were the few moments before that time?
God is so good. Evangelist, I would say this is the first time I'm sharing this. This is the first time I've gone on, so I've had several interviews, but this is the first time I'm sharing this. The day I took that pill, I took a handful of pill. I can't even tell you what kind of pills it was. And after 5 minutes, nothing was happening. I was still normal. That wasn't working for me. So I went into the bathroom with a knife. And I started cutting myself. Like I wanted to be done. I wanted out. So while I was cutting myself, I think the medication kicked in. And I fell.
You were cutting yourself. Where were you cutting yourself?
My wrist.
Your wrist.
And I fell. So when I fell, my husband heard the fall.
So he was at home then?
He was upstairs in the bedroom. And I was doing this downstairs in my living room.
Did you have a quarrel just before then or anything?
No.
You were just silent and you had thought of this, you had premeditated about this. This is what I'm going to do.
Yeah, I just wanted out. I just wanted out. The pain was so much. I was on so many medication. The pain was so much. And that's what I'm saying. I'm hoping that this testimony will
Wow.
encourage women that have lost a child. Listen, it will never make sense except if you hold on and wait for God to give you the answer. There's always a reason. There's always a reason why our God is never late, never too early. He's always on time, and everything he does, there is a reason. I never understood the reason why.
So your husband heard you fall down and he came.
He heard me fall down and he came down. I don't remember what happened after that. The next time I saw myself, I was on the hospital bed. It's like, wow, I guess they called me.
That shows that God still has need of you on this side of heaven. And when that happened, they pumped out pills. And when you realized what had happened, what you had gone through, and what was about to happen, how did you get out of that process?
There is one thing I always tell women, if you want to get married, marry a man that knows God and fears God. Not a perfect man, because no one is perfect, but somebody that knows God. I would tell you today, evangelist, that it was my husband's prayers and his strength that kept me. Because I had no strength anymore. I didn't pray. I didn't believe in God. I don't want to talk to pastors. But my husband never gave up on me. He never gave up on me. And he stood by me, with me, prayed for me. Even when he's praying, sometimes I'll yell at him like, you know what, can you just leave the room? Because I don't want to hear all this stuff you're doing. But he never quit. He never stopped. He was with me. And gradually, I came around. Gradually.
Wow. And when you came around, how did you latch up and keep the ball rolling and the fire burning?
I came around. What really did it for me was another woman lost a baby. She lost a baby. And then she was going through the same thing I was going through. And then they decided to bring this woman to me that I now have to encourage her.
Wow.
I said, wow, I have to encourage her. And then after that, several women, when they lose their child in my city, I became the person that everybody came to for encouragement. And there was a woman that also came to me when I lost my child, when I was going through my pain, during my time of pain. She came to me. She also lost a child. And she said one thing to me. She said, my dear, you always cry about this baby. The pain will never go away. But with time, you will understand why God allowed you to go through this. That was the only thing she said to me. She didn't quote any scripture. She didn't pray with me. She didn't quote Genesis, Matthew, and none of that. That was the only thing she said to me. And you know what? That ministered to me. And that gave me strength. Because, I told myself, I said, if she can come out of it,
you can do it.
Also come out of it.
So it was like the case of iron sharpening iron. And when you saw this iron that was hurt, red hot, steaming, came to you, it sharpened you and gave you light. And now you've got collected light, you've collected the fire. So how do you help people out here? I know you do some missions. How do you help people with the gifts and the life that God has given you? What do you do?
That's the reason why I'm sharing my testimony, first of all, here with you today. Because there might be a woman at home crying in her closet. Maybe you lost your baby 5 years ago or maybe 10 years ago. It doesn't matter how long. People think, time heals the wound. No. No, it does not. Sometimes 20 years, you've lost your child for 20 years and you're still crying and you still don't know what to do. Listen, you have got to find out the reason why God allowed you to go through what you went through. And always remember that God cannot give you more than you can bear. That means the fact that He allowed you to go through it, He knows you can come out of it and be strong. And your testimony is meant to encourage somebody.
Wow.
So any woman out there that has a lot, women, he has a greater effect on us than men.
Yeah.
And then it got to a point I started asking myself, my husband also lost a child,
Right. So,
this man also lost a child, but it was more about me. I know he had his pain, but women, it is hard for us.
I know, because you carry the baby in your womb and everything. We know that. And we feel that.
Depend, rely, and hold on to God and find out the reason. Right now, what I do, I have conferences, women conference. I speak to women. The city where I'm coming from, I just moved to Texas. I'm loving Texas,
Right.
But I'm praying that this year we'll be able to have a women's conference, where we speak to women and minister to women. And, I go all over Africa. I go to Nigeria, Ghana, Sierra Leone, and Kenya to minister to women, and we do missions. And, my heart goes out to women a lot, because women, we understand each other.
Yeah.
Yes. So that's basically what I'm using my testimony to do, encourage women.
To encourage people, to let them know that there is still hope. No matter what you've gone through, there is still hope, because God is the same yesterday, today, and forever. Evangelist Ngozi, would you just sing a song of blessing to somebody at home who's watching? Just a short song that will bless them, and we close.
This is a song, it's an old song, but I love this song so much. And it goes like this. I wanna be where you are, dwelling in your presence, facing at your table, surrounded by your glory. Oh, in your presence, that's where I always want to be. I just want to be. I just want to be with you. I just want to be where you are. Dwelling daily in your presence. I don't want to worship from afar. Draw me near to where you are.
And that is a song and our prayer for you. That the Lord will draw you to His presence, that you will be where He is, and He will enter your situation and turn your life around. Remember, when you're in the presence of the Lord, there's always fullness of joy. Well, that's been a program on Spiritual Rhapsodies. Remember, your best years are yet ahead of you, not behind you. My name remains Elvon Jarrett, and the Lord bless you. Thank you for watching Spiritual Rhapsodies. See you next episode.